Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Duke of Italy, your favorite lo-fi music YouTuber, and welcome to yet another album review. And this isn't just any album review. This is quite possibly the best album of all time. Godspeed You Black Emperor's amazing not debut, F sharp, A sharp Infinity. So no one really cares about the actual debut of Godspeed You Black Emperor. It came out after all these years, and all the songs were like 2 minutes long, and no one really cares about that. But the history of Godspeed You Black Emperor is really complicated, and it doesn't really matter. But what we need to know is they got two bassists. They got a dude that doesn't even play music. He just does the tape recordings of the footage that plays, and he makes movies. So he's just like me.
What?
But I'm talking too much about this because F sharp, A sharp Infinity is one of the best albums of all time. You start off with the track Dead Flag Blues. And, already starting off the flaw, this is not a blues track. In fact, there's not that much bluesy on here. But what you do get is a rather country-inspired set of melodies and moving instrumentals complete with steel guitars, normal electric guitars, big orchestral sounds of string sections, and most importantly, you get this guy at the beginning who goes on this big speech about how America is dying all because of where he lives. Now you see, what most people don't know about this song is that with all the imagery of all the death and the destruction and the terrible events and the southern music, it's actually about living in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, I'm not from Kentucky, but, maybe I could ask my friend Bridget if Bridget likes the song much, and the answer would probably be yes. But to me, the song's just okay. And then we get a song that is, in my opinion, a little bit better. This song is East Hastings. Now, this song is a little bit better because it's got a little bit more of a groove to it, but it's also 18 minutes long. That's like a minute away from Close to the Edge by Yes, making it maybe the second best song of all time. And then we get my favorite track on the album, Providence, the nearly half-hour long epic, as long as you're listening to the CD version because digital is superior. Now, this song is the best of the three tracks here, in my humble, unironic opinion. I have nothing being held against me now. I genuinely think that Providence is my favorite track on this album. So if you were bored by the rest of this album, prepare to be not so bored most likely, because Providence is a lot jammier, it's a lot groovier. You listen to the two bass guitars, and they sound like they're supposed to be here. The cello sounds like it's supposed to be here. All the other guitars come together in this giant climax of sound, and it grooves, and it grooves, and it grooves, and it punches you, and punches you, and punches you over and over and over, just like living in America today. Darn, it's so tough living through historical events, my guys. But after all these grooves, it mellows down a little bit. It calms down, only to wind in and out of these different instrumental passages. And after that goes on for pretty much forever. You got a 5-minute block of silence. Silence. This is where the ambient sounds of, your friends and family and loved ones, and the sounds of cars going by your house, the sounds of things that are alive. That's when you're supposed to have that fill in the ambient space, which makes the track more alive than it already is, which contrasts with the idea that this album is apocalyptic and about the end of the world, which clearly makes perfect sense. And then, of course, the album ends with the hardest hitting groove of all time. But you're probably wondering, Duke, why are you reviewing this album and why are you going so fast through it? I actually have a little story for you guys. So after I bought this t-shirt right here from the classic Bladester himself and the fellas, of course, I was driving home from Atlanta with Bridget, and I said, Bridget, I don't get F sharp, A sharp Infinity. Listened to it once, thought it was like just barely great. And that was mostly because of Providence, but you know what? It was fine. So I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I forgot to record myself saying that we should listen to this album on the way home? This has been brought to you by Evil Duke. So we're going home from Atlanta, of course, and about, I want to say like 40-ish minutes in, we're hungry. So we look and see what's open. Of course, it's 1 a.m. Not that much is open at the time, except we see Crystals. Bridget and I used to eat Crystal all the time. Probably back when my channel was in its infancy. And the thing about Crystal is that it's not that good. It's not a very good fast food place. If I had to pick a fast food place, California's got it best. You heard it here first. In-N-Out, Raising Cane's, come on, doesn't get any better. But Crystal, was it like a dying sort of civilization, a mockery of the grand white castle? The imagery in the word white castle, like, come on, it's a beacon of hope. And crystal, even though it's like a crystal, it's more like a rhinestone. It's like fake. It's like not the same, it's cheap. It's too much mustard. But Bridget and I have only one hope, and it's in this crystal. And we have nothing to lose at this point except maybe $10 on some Borgiers. So we're driving through the wild plains of Georgia where only the truck drivers are thriving, and Providence is rattling my car. And that's when the ambient portion of this track is fulfilled at a different section, because I didn't mention this, but there is a drummer on this album. And this drummer, he doesn't just play the same snare roll over and over like he does on the opening track, but he actually has a drum breakdown. And before this drum breakdown, the GPS on the phone says, exit in a half mile and reach Crystal. And I couldn't make this up if I tried, but right as it ended, the drum solo just kicks in and it just destroys it, and the groove just shoves into main gear. And we're reinvigorated, we're hopeful, and we go onto the Crystal, and then we reach the Crystal as the ambient portion kicks into the album, and we get our burgers with the one man working inside the Crystal, who's probably a little too old to work there. He hands us the sliders. We probably got 4 each, and then we get up on the road right as the groove is kicking in, and it's going. Very hopeful experience. I ask, hey Bridget, I'd like one of my burgers now. And Bridget hands me a burger. I take a bite, and it is not the best burger I've ever had, but it is better than any burger I've ever had from Crystal. They really mellowed out on the onions. Cheese felt like not that fake, like buns were, they were buns. Not hard to do buns. But the amount of hope, it's like when you're talking about Providence in the track, it's literally like the reemergence of the kingdom of God after the destruction of man. Men's reign is over. It's God's time. And out of our fake ideals and our too much mustard and our overindulgence outrises something as lowly, as humble as the Crystal. And I ate 4 little burgers that night. And that is F sharp, A sharp, Infinity by Godspeed, You Black Emperor. In conclusion, it's a good album, but Godspeed is better. Not that it matters though, it's because right now I'm thinking about how I'm going to get the little infinity sign in the title of this video. But that's the video.